how to use Maven. Okay. Then when you open Eclipse, you do what, like you create a project first, right? What kind of project that you create? There are Java offers different wide varieties of project types, or at least Eclipse offers. If you see, if you go to the file, if you go to the new, these are all the things that you can create from Java project, okay, and then plugin project. If it is go to general, facilitate project, normal project, and then EJB project, okay, and then Java. We have Java application client project, connector project, okay, enterprise application project, utility project. There are so many types of projects that it offers. What is the difference between each type? The basic architecture or the folder structure of your project will be differed, and how the where you want to keep your files is differentiated. If you take any web application object, web application project, your web application need not only Java code, it needs also some HTMLs, JSPs, and then some images, some CSS files. Okay, there are other things that they are required. Where do you keep them? Okay, so you cannot keep them along with your Java files in the same package. Okay, they should be maintaining a separate folder. Okay, when you prepare a var file which is deployable, so all that var file will contain all the Java .class files, and then all these the supporting files for UI or for any other related things. Okay, so my point here is you can create different types of projects in Eclipse, and uh, similarly, when you create those projects, what you need to do is, you remember the first time, right? I have created a project for Selenium, and if I want to use the Selenium, I have to add the jar files for that. Okay, so but if I use Maven project, I can create any type of project, but I don't need to download the jar files and add to the build path. I don't need to do that. It can be done by Maven itself. That is our one advantage that we are looking into to use Maven. Okay. So now how to create a Maven project, and what are the steps involved in this? So if you click on file, you click on new, then others, search for with Maven. Okay, you can see check out Maven project, Maven module, and Maven project. So we need to use Maven project. Click on next. So previously, when I create a new project, I have provided only one option, project name. Everything else is same. But I need to give little more information here. Please watch it carefully. The first step I need to do is I have to check this box. Create a simple project, skip archetype selection. That means I want to create a small project which is simple enough for us to do the automation. So this box need to be checked. That is the first step. Second step, you need to fill this form. This form contains different information such as group ID, artifact ID, version, packaging, name, description, parent projects, group ID, artifact ID, version. Forget about this section, bottom section, parent project, you don't need to fill it. You need to fill all the remaining 6 fields. Okay. So the first one, group ID, is, it's kind of, see, I am creating a project. Okay. So I want to know, it can be like Why you give a project name? So that it can be differentiated with the other projects. Okay, so you can create a 3-4 projects, and those projects, how you differ with the name of that project. Okay, and similarly you want to identify those 4 as a group. Okay, so that you give a common name. So that's what group ID. All organizations maintain a single group ID. Okay, so what group ID that I can give here is, let's say, com.flowcom. This is a group ID. And artifact ID. What artifact ID that we need is a project name. Okay, project name we call it as artifact ID. The project name, let's say I give it SST2. The same thing, version you can keep it as it is. Packaging you can keep it as it is for now, and the name you can give the same name as artifact ID. Description you can write anything, or else you can leave it empty, and then click on finish. It's going to create a new project. For this you should have internet connection. Okay, that's mandatory. First time it will take some time. Okay, you can see that in the bottom. So it's completed the creation of the project. First time it will take some time, next times it will be faster. And if you see this, the folder structure is differentiated. Previously you do not have like this. Now you have SRC main Java, SRC main resources, SRC test Java, test resources, JRE 1.5, and then same SRC, the same SRC here. Okay, target, and then pom.xml. Okay, this is the folder structure of your Maven project. This pom.xml is hot for your Maven project. If you see Maven anywhere pom.xml, then you say that okay, it's a Maven project. Okay. What you see here is it's an XML. XML contains the elements. Okay. So the root element of your pom.xml is the project. This modular version is will come by default. This group ID, artifact ID, version, name, description. This is what you gave just now while creating the project. All that information will be stored here. Okay. Now, what is the next step that I have to do? Here you can write Java programs and you can execute that. Okay. There is this a slight different structure, right? See, think in this developer's perception. Okay. What developers do is they develop some code, they write some code. Okay. And then they will see that whether they, whatever the code that they have written, it is working or not. They will test from their side too. Okay, at the code level, that testing we call it as unit testing. Okay, those unit test cases will be written here in the SRC test Java. All their application code will go into SRC main Java. That's the defined. Okay, so then where we have to use it, or what, where we have to write our programs. So if our programs are test related, or all programs are testing, like Selenium is used for testing, right? So we should be using SRC test Java. That is the guideline. It's not mandatory. Okay, it's a guideline to use all your Selenium test cases. Sorry, it's guideline to use test folder for your Selenium automation cases. Sometimes you might write not writing Selenium cases. You are using you are writing some Java programs, okay, logical programs or something programs. There you can use SRC in Java too. Okay, that's nothing wrong. Okay, so this target folder is very important. I'll come back to that. Now, in this project, I wanted to use Selenium. Okay, how do I use Selenium? If I want to use Selenium, I should add Selenium jar files to my build path. Okay, right click, build path, configure build path. Okay, and then go to the libraries. Here I can add external libraries. This is how we do in the normal project. But in Maven, we don't need to do that. In fact, you don't need to download the Selenium jar files too. I don't have those jar files in my system, and then I don't need to download them if I use Maven project. Only Selenium jars, okay? Then how to tell this project, okay, I want to use Selenium related jar files. We have to tell them. Without telling that, it cannot automatically download everything, okay? So how do we tell them is in terms of dependency. We call that as dependency. We use a tag called dependencies, and inside that we'll add the dependency which is related to Selenium project. Okay. Now, if you see carefully, it's a open tag here, project, and it is closed here. So whatever you write in form.xml, everything should be inside this tags project closing tag. Okay, you cannot write outside of it. So generally, I see most of the students, the first mistake using Maven is they will try to add elements after this and then they'll get the errors. Okay, so don't do that. You write whatever you want to write inside the closing bracket. You just need to click on enters, few enters, so that you'll get this small place here. Then you can do that. Okay. The first thing is you need to add less than dependencies. Okay, so when you click on enter, it will also give you closing bracket. So all your dependencies, that means whatever the jar files that you require, you should put inside this dependency. Okay, now how do you know that you like Selenium? What is the Selenium dependency? For interviews, you might have to remember the syntax or the structure, but generally you can go to mvnrepository.com here. Okay, mvnrepository.com. Here you can search for the dependencies. Selenium. When you search for Selenium, you will get this one. Okay. Now, if you click on that Selenium Java, you have multiple options here. Generally, you have to take the latest version, but when the latest version is either beta or alpha, okay, you should not take it. We should be using the stable one. Okay, so this is how you see the versions are being come up or being used. These are the different versions that they are maintaining. Now we use like this one. This is the latest stable version. Just clicking on that, it takes us to this page where we are using Maven. Okay, copy this code and then come back to your project and then paste in between dependencies. In order to format well, there is a shortcut in the Eclipse, Control Shift F, so that it automatically formats properly. Control Shift F. These are the shortcuts that we should be knowing. Okay. So Control O, Control Shift or something. Okay. Now this is one jar that we need, and also we need one more jar, Selenium server. Okay. So Selenium server. Here we have 31459, and then you say this, and paste it. Control Shift F. These are the two jar files that we require for Selenium. Remember what are they? Selenium-Java, Selenium-server. What is the current version that you are using? 3.141.59. Okay, so that is the Selenium version. You have done these 2 points. What are they? Like adding the dependencies so that you can start using Selenium. Okay. Along with that, I need a Chrome driver, right? So I'll just download that. I don't have it. Chrome driver need to be downloaded. Okay. Binary. That's my browser version 79. Okay. So that means I should download 79. 132. I'll save it here. I'll extract it. Generally, what I do is I'll copy this into C folder so that it is easier for me to give the path. Chrome driver.exe. If I use this SRC test Java, okay, I am writing the Selenium test cases, right? So I can use SRC test Java. SRC test Java, right click, new class. First, we need to give the package. General package structure would be look like this. Com is your company's extension. Your company's extension can be like oracle.com or microsoft.com, google.com, right? So something like .com or org. So if it is a open source or like free sites, okay, it starts with org. So suppose like government websites does ends with .org. Like that, whatever the extension of your companies, like you will use this company or organization or private limited, you'll have some different things. Okay, and followed by your company name. Let's say I'll put it as local. Okay, and then your project name, maybe I'm you doing for this line survey. Okay, and then you're writing the test cases, right? Like I'll use this is general structure that we maintain. Similarly, we have to follow these good practices while we are trying to learn. Okay, you can change anything here, like name of the company, name of the project, name of the type of things that we write here. Let's say instead of that, the scripts you can use another term. Okay, but the format should be like that. Test line survey login, something like that. This is one test case that class I have created. See the good nomenclature, okay, we call it as the naming conventions. Your test cases should start with or ends with test. That should be good thing to practice. Okay, so why you need to practice like this is whenever you go to the interviews, they'll ask you to write some programs instead of some random XYZ ABC. If you understand their question, okay, for that kind of problem, what kind of namings should be ideal. So if you practice from now on, then it will automatically comes at that point of time. Okay, you don't need to spend extra energy there. Okay, that's why we need to practice writing the good nomenclature or good naming convention. Okay. Public void test login. Okay. Then test and survey. Okay, it just executes this project. Okay, now what we need to add here, we need to write some program. You remember system dot set property. What is the key? Web driver dot chrome dot driver. Okay, there is a value c colon double slash chrome driver dot exe. That is a path, and then generally we write web driver external driver equals to new chrome driver. Okay, see, if you don't add those dependencies or jar files to your project, okay, you cannot able to import it. If you see this import here, that means this jar, whatever the Selenium jars, those are available in the path. How does they come into this thing? Because you have added dependencies in form.xml. Okay, so from driver.get, what is the URL? I don't have Lime survey here, so I'll just open some google.com. Okay, right click, run as Java application. So this is the first step of using Maven. What we have done till now? We have created a new project which is of type Maven. Okay, a Maven project has been created. Second thing, we have understood the project or architecture, package structure we understood. And the third thing is in the pond.xml, we have added dependencies. The fourth thing is like in SRC test Java, we have added our test case. Because of dependencies, it's automatically downloaded those jar files and then added to my build path. Does this understandable? Any questions?